This is Grayman Media content.
I'm Jessica.
I'm Devin.
We founded a media company to help promote local artists and goof off with our friends.
It's not always easy running all these shows, but we decided to add another to our list.
This is The Other Show.
Yeah, Visage.
Visage.
Yeah.
Hate that game.
I'm enjoying editing it.
It's awful to play. You should play a chapter and then see how you feel about it.
I mean, maybe when you're done playing the whole thing, but...
They do a great job with the music and the not jump scares, but the jump scares here and there.
Well, and the first, 3 episodes that I edited, the game volume was, way more down. And so, by the 4th... Maybe it might have been the 3rd episode that I edited, but one of those... when I turned the volume up on the game, I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, it's a whole atmosphere you're in the whole time.
I'm thinking the majority of this game's relatively quiet with a few, sounds here and there. No, dude, it's sound the whole time. Whoever did the sound design, they knew what they were doing.
It's constant sound, whether it's just instruments basically in the background or you hear footsteps randomly or knocking randomly. It all sucks. It's terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty freaky. You are terrified playing the game, and sometimes you can just hear me in the background because I'm in the same room when you're recording these. I'm usually doing research for some other stuff, but I hear everything that goes on your end. I don't hear the game, so I just hear, oh, and I'm just like, oh my God.
Or the random moaning of,
Yep, I saw that. I saw that.
It's a terrifying game. They do a great job of it. It's horrifying. I only played through the Dolores chapter so far as well.
Yeah.
That's all I've played through so far.
Yeah, and how far are we into Let's Plays? Was that February?
Something like that.
So these gameplays will be coming out around then?
Yeah, in about a month and a half-ish from now, something like that.
Yeah. Not from the time of recording, from the time of this release. So if you're interested in that, go to Grayman Gaming. Jessica, one of the first games that we played for the channel was a horror game.
Yeah, Man and Medan.
Yeah, and it was not a horror game.
It was, it was spooky kind of the whole time, and they tried to do some jump scares here and there, but it wasn't crazy.
It wasn't. Yeah, it was not
not compared to Visage.
Yeah,
which is terrifying the whole time you're playing.
Yeah.
You're just walking through a hallway, or there's sometimes I'm just in a room looking around, because you're supposed to explore and try to find stuff. Out of nowhere, the music spikes and your sanity goes up out of nowhere, or I guess it would be down out of nowhere. And I'm just like, I didn't do anything. Or there was one time I grabbed a box, because you can pick up a box and look at it, and I'm spinning it around. I'm like, what did I do? I did nothing. Didn't hear anything else, didn't see anything else out of nowhere. It just spikes you out of nowhere, and it is terrifying. Because the way they do the music design is ridiculous.
Yeah, one of my favorite things about before you even got into a chapter, you're in the game and you're trying to figure out the controls. There's 2 things that came out of this early, and one of them was that you found a cupboard with a ton of cups.
Yeah.
So you start taking out every single cup.
I was like, screw it. I'm going to take out all the cups and put them on the floor.
And I'm like, you're stalling.
Yeah, I am. I found a place to just stand there where I was like, I could be safe here. Yeah. Probably would not have been if I would have stayed there for long enough.
Yeah.
I just kept throwing the cups on. Which was my downfall later on, because eventually I tripped on them. Your controller shakes when you trip on something, which makes it feel like something's running up on you. Because again, the music. And I was like, no. Because I did that in the living room. I also started throwing cans or something on the floor. And then later on in the game, she's actually nearby or something. And I stumble over them. And the whole controller shot. I was like, no. Found out next time I went in that room, it was just a can on the floor.
Yeah. That was really funny to me. And then also you playing the first 45 minutes crouched and not even knowing it.
Yeah, I don't remember when I crouched. I almost want to go back through my raw thing and figure out exactly when, if I did it immediately, because I feel like I did it really immediately without even realizing it.
Almost certainly. Well, because it was so funny because and in the edit, I kept about half of the times that you mentioned that you were short, because it was
a lot.
Yeah. And it was kind of repetitive, but I was like, I want this to be in there. And then when you're like, when you stood up for the first time, I think you were in a bathroom. And you're like, was I crouched the whole time? You could hear me in the background going, ha! Ha!
I was crouched for so long, and I didn't even realize it. Because crouch isn't like a normal crouch. It's like, I think it's like B or something.
That's the universal button to crouch.
Well, a lot of the games we've been playing have been like shooter games, and like crouch is like you push in the thumbsticks or whatever. That's usually
Fortnite and Fortnite alone. Like,
no, it's usually like crouch. I didn't think like, I don't know. There's also not a lot of buttons you can click in this game, so I don't know.
It's like, dude, come on now.
There's a lot of trigger and bumper mashing in that game to try to drop and pick up stuff.
Sure.
So you kind of ignore the A and B for a while.
So, like, unfortunately, because it was like really kind of drawn out and there wasn't much happening, a lot of the story elements of the Dolores chapter were kind of cut from the overall edit.
Really? What part of the story ones did you miss, or did you
almost all of it, because nothing was really happening. Especially like there was even one time where like you got halfway through a recording and then you had to redo it. Yeah. So like just for anybody who's interested to like go watch that gameplay that comes out in about a month, Grayman Gaming, go watch it. Do you want to go like kind of through at least your version of what happened to Dolores, why she is the way she is? Why are you being haunted by her?
I don't know why I'm being haunted by her. That's part of the whole Visage thing. Like, evidently you're a character and there's a lot of beer cans. So I'm assuming this dude's an alcoholic, because I found out also I'm a guy based on everything.
Yeah.
He seems like an alcoholic who's going crazy and seeing shit and stuff like that from past tenants. I don't know which one was first, because evidently there was 3. I did Dolores. There's evidently Lucy and then Rakan. So there's like 3 other people that lived here before. She was somebody that was mentally unstable. I'm trying to think of what was it? Dementia and something else. There was a couple other things that you hear in the recording and see. And at the end, it shows you like she got so bad where she ended up killing her husband in his studio, stabbed him like 8, 9 times, 7 times. I don't remember. Something like that with a lot of knives, because I eventually have to go put a knife into him myself. Also, dude stood up out of nowhere and then disappeared. Not cool. Not cool at all. Anyway, she kills him, goes back, take care of baby for a second. Like, it looks like she's trying to comfort it. And then you see her, like, walk past a wall where you can't see because you're looking through a peephole to see this last story. And she hangs herself.
Right.
And then that's all you know. I want to know what happened to the baby. Did somebody eventually find it? Or is that...
you did.
Like, that was awful. That was terrifying.
Yeah, but...
The baby was terrifying.
But that's pretty much the story, though? That, like, wait, there's not really much else to it?
Well, again, that's a lot. The Visage is a lot based on a lot of mental illnesses and like how they can be perceived by other people, but also it kind of puts you in the mindset of them, how they're tormented with this and that type of stuff. From what I've read about certain things, but also playing through it, that's another reason I'm kind of terrified to go through these other ones. Because Rayken, from what I've read, is a paranoid person, which probably means the whole game I'm going to have to be paranoid about him being behind me or something. Not looking forward to that. Not looking forward to it. But I don't know. It is. I think her storyline is really sad. I haven't looked into the storylines exactly of how the others are, but I've read hers and then I watched it and then I played it. It's kind of sad. Like, she literally went crazy with all the stuff, was supposedly like taking meds and stuff, didn't help, made her like more crazy, and then inevitably kills herself when she has probably a 3 or 4 month old, based on the way the decor is and the little mobile. That's kind of sad. It is.
Yeah.
Don't know why she's haunting me, though. I still couldn't figure that out.
Before, obviously...
I did nothing to her.
Obviously, right now, none of the episodes are out. But they have been recorded. They have been edited. They've been uploaded to our channel, and they're, ready to go. I did link the very first episode, showed it to a coworker of ours, also a Grayman kind of... I don't want to use the word employee, but she's a regular on this on our flagship show, Thoughts from the Mothership, at least once a month, kind of regular. But I showed it to her because she saw me and her also like a different channel called Quimbo Ben, and he played the game, and she linked it to me, and I watched it, and I was like, oh, this is great. I should make Jessica play this game. Later, we found out that we had actually watched Jacksepticeye play this.
Yeah, and I don't remember it.
Me neither.
At all.
Also, he definitely played a different chapter for sure.
Did he?
I don't know. Not
I don't
really.
know.
Can't
I
remember
want to
anything.
watch and find out, but I really don't want to because I hate this game so much. Even going there trying to make thumbnails scared me a little bit again. Like I could feel, because there's one recording. I don't know if I mentioned it in there depending on how the edit worked. There was one recording within, I think it was 5 minutes of recording because I looked at the time to make sure. I was already sweating. I was already hot.
Oh, yeah, you said
I was
it. Yeah.
not happy. Like I was already terrified.
Yeah, you mentioned it.
I literally sweat almost every single one of those just a little bit, and it was just within few minutes. It was awful.
Yeah. But I showed her it, because we talked about, basically where we are now is like 2 months ago is when we made the plan to play this game, and since then it was like, okay, like let's get it downloaded, let's figure it out, let's record it, let's edit it, let's get it uploaded. So in about a 2 month period, we've gotten 4 or 5 episodes. I gave her the first one. Didn't want to spoil anything, but I gave her the first one. She watched it while she was like cutting veggies or something like that. Thought it was hilarious. She's super excited for it.
I hate it. It was
I'm
awful.
super excited for it. I really hope it performs well because it deserves to.
It was awful.
The thing about it is
Forewarning, real quick, also to anybody who's about to go look it up, real quick. I swear a lot.
Yeah.
So viewer discretion advised on that. I
few
swear,
different reasons,
I swear a lot. So before you go look if as long as you're okay with that, you'll be fine. Because there's one time I remember going down a hallway and I was just saying F you the whole time. Like, I think there was a 5 minute stretch I'll watch you edit. You cut that down.
Yep.
It was like 5 minutes straight of me just saying that, walking through hallways and because it was terrifying.
There's every now and then there's situations where censoring a cuss word is more funny than just leaving it alone.
Yeah.
If I had censored this video,
You wouldn't have heard it at all.
nothing would have
You would
came
not
out.
have heard.
So
It was so bad. Like, I can't not be scared and not cuss. Evidently, I found that out. It's so bad.
it's a really good watch, and if you're a fan of horror, the thing that the main reason Jessica has to play these games, I'm gonna play one because she wants me to. I guess that'll make her feel better about it. Jessica doesn't handle horror very well.
No,
Jessica is
not at all.
Jessica is not the most adept video game player. She doesn't give herself enough credit. Where she was and where she is now, infinitely better. But she's still not. She hasn't been playing games her whole life. So there's that already kind of giving a kind of frustrating vibe to not being able to figure out immediately how a game works, not being able to handle horror very well in any way, shape, or form, and then also giving you one of the most scary games ever.
Yeah, didn't you say pretty much anyone who's ever played it says the most terrifying?
Yeah.
And from people who play,
I joined the
actively
subreddit.
seek out like horror games
Yeah.
to play, said this is one of the most terrifying.
Yes, I joined the subreddit. There's not very many people, but the people who are in that kind of, I guess, community, they really do think that this is one of the more scary games they've ever played. Right up there with like PT.
And I haven't even played the most terrifying.
Yeah, from what I understand.
Yeah, the most terrifying chapter. I looked up because I was like, all right, curious. Which chapter is the most horrifying? Yeah, that's the Lucy chapter. I haven't played that one yet, and I'm terrified.
It's also the one, the genre of horror that scares you the most. The like demon.
Yeah,
and stuff.
demonic stuff. Like
Yeah.
the ghost thing with Dolores, it's a ghostly, which does terrify me.
Oh, you're scared.
But demonic stuff
You're
in
scared.
general actually terrifies my bones, and I really don't want to play that chapter.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Well, it comes from the way you were brought up, and it's just something that you've been taught to be scared of your entire life, and so when you see it pop up, it's like that's the end all be all thing that I'm supposed to be scared of.
Yeah.
And here it is.
And another thing I did read about that chapter, I did go look because I was curious how bad that chapter is going to be. It's very dark, evidently, and you have to use a camera to see.
Oh, fine.
Which means I have to see whatever the is going to happen a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
Because that's another thing that you did on the Dolores chapter, and we're running out of time here. Just know if you guys really do want to, we might revisit this when we come back to it. I don't even want to give it a rating yet.
Probably when I get through another chapter, or at least start it or something,
Yeah,
if I can, because there is a chance I might start that chapter and never be able to finish it.
No way, bro.
We'll see. I don't know.
No way, bro. You're finishing it. It's too good. It's just too good. It's too good. It's the content is too funny. But again, I want to wrap this up. But you don't look at the spooks. You go out of your way to try.
I
your
look
best
down.
Not to. Yeah, you look down.
I look down. There's a lot of times she'd be at the end of the hall. I'm like, nope, nope, can't hurt me if I can't see you. That was my mindset. Didn't always work out for me, but
yeah. So I don't want you to give a rating on the game itself because I think you should finish it. And then also have maybe some time in between finishing it and rating it. That way you're not just giving it a bad review because you're scared.
No, I give this game a 5. They did a fantastic, yes, they did a fantastic job. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. But based on the way the game works, like there could be literally nothing happening. And I'm still scared out. I would still be sweating. I would still feel my heart racing, and there's nothing happening.
Okay.
They did a fantastic job, and I hate it.
I'm not playing the game, so I can't rate the game.
What part do you did it sound like from the couch? Because you heard me. Did it sound like I was the most terrified?
Anytime she showed up, especially like the first few times where she was laughing and like then she would pop up. The biggest jump scare came in episode 5, but I think the one where you seemed most terrified was when she showed up at the top of the stairs when you were in the basement.
Because that was the first time I saw something.
Yeah.
I didn't even see her because I saw something and I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Immediately panned the camera down. I was like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first time they actually started showing up too. Because then you saw that body in the corner and stuff. Like that's when that started.
Yeah.
The most terrifying moment I had in it, I think it was episode 5. It was like at the end when I went to the storage room to check. I don't know what I was looking for. I went to the storage room to like look at it. Out of nowhere, she can just affect light bulbs in the way of watching it twist off. I couldn't fix it. I couldn't move because I kept trying to move around. Lighters were nothing worked. So it went black and I had to stand there for like 5 minutes waiting to die.
And that's where you actually got like there was a few jump scares that like quote unquote got you, but you really just kind of looked away. That one you like jumped back and was like,
I didn't like whatever was about to happen.
Yeah.
It was awful.
I can't rate the game, but I give watching my terrified wife play the game a 5 out of 5.
And I gave it 5 out of 5 because I hate the game. I do. Yep. But they did a fantastic job between music, the way that, at least with the Dolores chapter, the way that the ghost interacts with you and the way the story goes with it. Really good job. I do say that. So yeah, 5 out of 5 for me too.
That gives Visage an overall rating of 5.
So far. We'll see how the next chapters turn out.
New Year's resolutions. You got one?
New Year's resolution?
Yeah. Well, because at the time this episode comes out, we're Happy New Year's.
Yeah. Well, I've never been big into New Year's resolutions because it just puts a lot of pressure on it. And then, like most people, I usually fail out of them within a couple like weeks or months. If there's anything I really want to get done this year, I'd like to lose like 10 pounds over the next year. Mm-hmm. Nothing crazy, just like slowly over 12 months, which is feasible.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking for feelings.
For feelings?
Yeah, because like at the time of recording this, I'm at like 140 somewhat days into sobriety. I'm probably at 30 days without a cigarette or close to. So there's that. I'm doing incredibly well in my side career and my full-time career. In fact, I have my evaluation coming up on Friday. I'm expecting a raise. I hope I get a raise.
$200,000 a year.
Let's see.
I would cry.
I had the largest bonus of my entire life this year.
That was a really big one.
Yeah. So I just, there was a couple really bad things that happened this year, but all things considered, I would say that this is one of the best years of my life. And I think the only reason I can 100% say that is because I'm sober nuts. Can't talk about it yet because we don't know what it is, but
so we're still a project in the making.
It's something. But I'm really excited for it because I think over the last, again, 150-ish days, the way that I feel about this year has changed so dramatically in comparison to what I would have probably said in March or April or something like that. Mm-hmm. And I just know that I'm staying on this path. And there's some stuff that I failed at for sure. There's a lot of stuff that I failed at this year. I wanted to lose weight. I'm pretty much right where I started.
Hey, even if you like end to where you started means you didn't gain anymore, which is always a bonus.
I guess that's true. There's a lot of things that I'm doing better. I've had a gallon of water almost every single day for like 90 days.
Yeah, I don't know how you hold that water. I would be going to the bathroom constantly.
I do. I go a lot.
It'd be like every 5 minutes. All right, guys, I gotta go.
I've been to the gym more this year than I think I have since the year we got married. I've beaten my fastest mile twice this year. Once when I first quit alcohol, and once relatively recently where I shaved another like 5 or 6 seconds off my fastest mile.
Nice.
Yeah. So, but overall, really haven't lost any weight, but I feel better. And I think that's really important.
That's the most important part. Like, and that's really the only reason I want to like lose weight. It's more just making sure I feel better in my body.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily have to be weight. If I just feel like less fatigued or more awake when I wake up, that's all that's really important.
Yes, I agree. I couldn't agree more, actually. I mean, the number, at the end of the day, it would probably be healthy for me to lose some weight. But ultimately, that's just a number. I really just care about how I feel in body and mind. And the amount of success that we've had in Grayman, all the stuff that we've done, we did a lot this year. We've
done a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
And again, especially over the last 150 days, we launched tons of new content. We added a whole new channel where we're releasing videos 4 times a week. We're doing videos for the kids. We're all while being full-time parents, full-time partners, and full-time employees to a different job.
So we're already capped out, and we just add more to the cap.
Yeah,
It's essentially what it was.
And then we added this show that we're doing right here, right now, while upping the production value of a different show that we're doing that starts starts releasing in like 3 to 4 weeks. We've already recorded an episode, but it's season 3 of Wolf Takes a Bite. We'll talk about it a different day, but
Shameless plug.
Yeah. Shameless plug of our own content on our own content. Is it still recording? Are we still good?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I was just double checking.
Okay.
Just to make sure.
Yeah. Technical difficulties.
That's a standard here in Grayman Media.
Yeah. But I think that's just overall what I want. I want to, I think we're getting pretty close. I think we can still take on more projects, but I think we're getting pretty close to the amount that we can handle as creators / all the other things that we do. Again, I think we can do more, but I think we're getting real close.
I think it's kind of like last time, like when we first started with just Thoughts from Mothership, or when Wolf Takes Bite was just starting. Like, it felt like we were already doing so much. But after you get into a groove of it for a couple months, then you're like, you know what? I have a little bit of time. I can do this now. Like, it's just getting back into that groove over the next, like, probably months, probably towards mid-February and February, we'll be like, all right, now we can probably add something else or do something different.
And that's why we spaced Grayman Gaming from the other show to season 3 of Wolf Takes a Bite. I always planned spaces in between. Yeah. But at this point, I think we're a few months before we add something else to our repertoire, which is unfortunate because I do think I have something outside of Sober Knots. I think I have something else. We'll see what happens.
We got to finalize the things we got.
100%.
And then, but like last time, once we finalized what we wanted this show to do, what we wanted this one to do, then I was like, all right, now we got time. All we got to do is finish basically checklisting off these other shows. When those are done, if you already have ideas or if I come up with ideas or somebody else does, it's like, hey, we could do this. We're like, cool, we got time now that we've checklisted all this other stuff off.
Right. So, yeah, to me, it's not like it's not like this arbitrary thing that would make sense, like for a New Year's resolution. It's not go lose 10 pounds, which is that's not a bad goal. That's a great goal to have. But it's a lot less something that makes sense to achieve. It's like, once you lose that 10 pounds, you've done it. You've done the thing. Whereas mine, I can't win. Yeah. I've set a goal for myself that I can't win.
And that's why I like setting goals that I know for a fact I can do.
Yeah, no, it's smart.
And usually do before the end of the year, because then even if I take my dear sweet time, because I basically made one at the beginning of this year. I was like, I want to lose 10 pounds. And it literally took me 12 months to do it. But over that 12 months, I slowly adjust this and that. And if there's a month I'm like, screw it, I don't care this month, I have more time to fix it.
Yeah, you care about your sanity, so you give yourself a goal that you can.
I already have so many other things that like there are goals that just take so long, or I don't know if I can do them here and there. I need simple ones for for your league goals.
Yeah, mine is like it's all about a feeling. I really want to keep that feeling of new and inspired to keep going in Grayman. I want to keep that same drive that I'm having at the full-time job, and I like where me and you are in our relationship, and I like the a little bit more quality time that I'm spending with the kids and things like that. So it's not necessarily putting a number on any of this. It's like I just want to continue that feeling through the entirety of 2022. I don't know. Maybe I want to read. I think last year I read 11 books. I don't know. Maybe I'll shoot for 12.
You read a lot.
Yeah.
Especially like towards the beginning, like the first 6 months of the year, you went through so many. I was highly impressed because I can't go through that.
Well, I read like 4. I didn't read them. I listened to them because if I read, I don't retain the information.
It sounds like it's the same thing. Audiobooks are the same thing as a regular book these days.
I'm not. It's the same to me. I don't give It's however you retain the information as far as I'm concerned. But I did 4 books in the last like 3 months. So, and I also re-listened to 2 of them.
Nice.
Because I needed to like relearn the lessons. So I don't know, maybe that's a goal I could have like for number wise. Like I could try to shoot for 14 books this year, but
I do 12 because then if nothing else, 1 book a month. Like, make it easier.
I'll do 20. I don't give a
We'll be back next year. He's gonna say I read 150. I wouldn't be surprised.
To be honest with you, at this point,
can you read 100? Well, yeah, because each audiobook's roughly 4 hours, depending on the book. Yeah, you could read 150 books a year.
That depends.
That's a lot of books.
That depends. I mean, Gary V's, one of Gary V's book, I think was like 2.5 hours, but then the one I did with Neil deGrasse Tyson was like 6 hours. So it's like the Iliad and the Odyssey, I think combined were like 26 hours.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I might be being over dramatic, but they're
probably close enough.
They were very long, and they were a combination. Dante's Inferno was very, very long. These are 2020 books that I read, but still, I mean, they get up there. It depends on the book,
Okay, fair enough.
Much like anything else. But yeah, I don't really have any goals outside of just to continue feeling great, and
I can get behind that.
Drink more water.
Don't drink more than a gallon a day. I feel like that's just unsafe.
No, but I missed a few days.
You don't need to make it up. That's not how that works.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I just mean more consistently. Like,
okay. I was like, that's not how that works. You can't drink 2 gallons of water.
I don't know. I haven't been keeping track like that, but like, I assume that I've been drinking roughly, and it's all Shanda and Adrian's fault at work, but
because they bought those gallon jugs.
Yeah, they're and I was talking mad shit because I know I can drink. I get any liquid, whatever it is. I used to be a professional alcoholic, so I know I can consume liquid. So I was talking a mad game. So as soon as I got the gallon, I was like, well, I'm going to,
Now you have to.
Yeah, well, I would drink, from 7 to 11 in the morning, I would kill out my entire gallon. And they'd be like, what the f***? So they would try to keep up with me. And there was a couple times. Shayna beat me once. I think Adrian got close once. Adrian's older, so I love you, Adrian. I don't know if you'll ever hear this. I really do love you, and you inspire me a lot. But yeah, no, I crushed them. But there have been a couple days I missed like 1 or 2 here, and 1 or 2 at work maybe. But for the most part, I'm slaying it. Just more consistency. I like to get to the gym again at least once a week, and really it's not about even losing weight. It's just I get a couple days after going to the gym, and the day I go to the gym, I get a lot more energy.
It makes sense, yeah.
So it's like keeping your I don't need it I don't need it to make sense. I just feel it. And it does make sense. You're right. Scientifically it does make sense. I don't need it to though. It just the way I feel. So
makes you feel better, which is again important. That's all that really matters.
No, you're 100% right. I couldn't agree with you more. Very in tune. I don't know what any of that means.
I was just gonna let it go. I was very surprised.
Well, because when I came up with the idea to talk about New Year's resolutions, you were like, I don't know, I got nothing. And I'm like, me neither.
It's because neither of us really do them like that.
I have in the past.
Yeah.
I haven't been very vocal about them. But there's also there's a whole other layer about coming on a show that's going out on the internet and saying this is what I'm going to do this year, because then it's like anybody who pays attention to it, they're like, remember when you said you were going to do this year? Now, what's your excuse? And there's never a good one.
Yeah, I will say, I don't normally do them. I did do another one last year to myself. I've told this myself 3 years in a row. Didn't do it the first 2 years. This year, I've gotten a lot better. My goal is to stop, like, raising my voice and yelling at the kids a lot more this year. And I think the last few months, it has helped.
Pause Lazar.
Pause Lazar? Like Bob Lazar.
That's a little Take the Bite reference. That's for you, John.
Just for you, John.
That's for you, John. No, but when you say that, it sounds like you do it a lot. I want to be very clear. She very rarely does it.
No, I'm not good at
She beats herself up about it.
I do. And I grew up in a house where there was a lot of yelling in general.
Me too.
We
don't need to get into it.
And so I grew up where like it was very normal, and I'm not crazy about it. But for the past 3 years, I've realized like I need to stop. And the kids are getting to the point where they're going to remember this. They are starting to mimic the way I react.
That's the most important part, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not even necessarily like
if I do it, it's fine.
Bad.
But then they're gonna start doing it, and I've seen it here and there, like them react ways I would, and I hate saying it because like even though I can punish them right now for it, they'll see me do it,
right?
Which is the bad part. And I told myself the last few years to try to stop. Haven't been great at it. I think alcohol and being hungover a lot did not help.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, but the last few months of us not drinking, I've realized I can calm myself down. I can force myself in that calmer voice for a while. And then if I'm still angry about whatever's happening, that's fine. But to them and to their face, I'm a lot more like, all right, I have lost my here and there. Yes. Yeah. I'm not perfect. But I've gotten a lot better in the last few months. And so that is something I do want to continue and get better and better about over the next year.
Yeah, it's...
Not having alcohol has helped a lot.
Absolutely. And they'll never understand that. They will never get that, even when they're adults, unless they make the exact same mistakes we did, they'll never.
Pray to God they do not.
Won't.
That is the goal, is to not let them do the road we went down.
They won't.
Let them go down their own road.
Exactly. And they'll up plenty of times. They already have. Alexander pulled a fire alarm. Nicholas is trying to be the class clown. Newsflash, kid, you ain't funny.
That's what that was one of the talks I gave him about. I was like, it's not funny. Yeah, it's not cool.
Yeah, you're not. Dude, I promise you're not funny. Yeah, I promise. I've listened to your best jokes. There's like 3 of them that were ever funny. Like, you're not slick, bro. I love you to death. I love both you and Alexander to death. Neither one of y'all are funny. Y'all ain't got it, all right? Y'all don't got the stand-up comedy gene. It's not, it ain't working out.
Keep trying.
It's a good thing you're both cute, because you ain't getting no girls with laughs. I promise you ain't.
That was good. That was fun.
I don't know where this ended. That was weird.
We went down a road.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of my New Year's resolution, or not even New Year's resolution, more like next year I want to stay consistent and better about what I'm already doing, if that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I guess we can end it here. I will say, even though we're not doing anything with the project yet, if you are somebody who is struggling with addiction or anything like that, and you'd like to quit, or you have quit recently, please reach out to us. We're doing stuff for people like us who have quit.
We do. We have a dope shirt you can have. I need to quit cussing.
Oh, yeah, we censor these. What the Jessica?
That's where it has to end. Will we censor these? Hey, if you enjoyed listening to that episode, you can find more. Just go to graymanmediaco.com and you find all things The Other Show.